Hey guys, how you doing this morning? Good.
Everybody get some sleep last night? No?
Yes. I had
Divine sleep.
Well, I guess we'll go ahead and introduce ourselves. My name is Brittany Lata. I am a voice actress. I play Riko in Made in Abyss. I also voice Ichigo in Darling in the Franxx, Misa in Tokyo Ghoul, Audrey in Honey Pop, Nene in My First Girlfriend is a Gal, to name a few. And I also sometimes direct stuff like Legend of Galactic Heroes and Ladies vs. Butlers and Aino Kusabi, which is a delicious yaoi. Your turn.
My name is Kyle Jones. Work primarily out of Sentai Filmworks, was ADV Films back in the day. Let's see, right now doing Mr. Tonagawa is going on High Dive, directed Made in Abyss. I'm pointing to a black screen. Just use your imagination. Did Haikyuu and Food Wars and Gate and Sakamoto. Let's see, Log Horizon, Akame ga Kill, Parasite, My Love Story, No Game No Life. And back in the day, did things like, let's see, Kino's Journey and Saint Seiya and Air and Canon and things like that. So I'm old, is what that means. But thank you. So who here has seen Made in Abyss in any of its forms?
Okay, wow, almost all of you.
So we can talk about some stuff and not worry about ruining people's lives.
Yeah, we can talk about spoilers and any. Well, I'll give a heads up if I'm going to talk about a spoiler.
Okay.
So you can plug your ears, run out the door. You know.
You got it.
Cool.
First, well, let's do the little video first.
Yeah. So we got a video. This was the cast reveal from a few months ago. So if you haven't gotten to see any of the dub, here you go.
Little glimpse.
Riko, I was just thinking about the delusion you seem to have about your mother's letter.
About it being our final lesson? It's not a delusion, okay?
I was thinking you just might not be mistaken in that. Jiro told me that it's necessary for him to patrol every night. And let's just say, he was able to see through us. Perhaps he uncovered our nightly plot and was able to figure out I'm a robot. He then made it a point to place that letter in my pocket. We must escape and prove we're up to the task.
Yeah! Oh, what's the matter, Reg?
You see that? Something flashed over there.
Huh?
It's somewhere up there, right around those 3 boulders.
What? You think it's a search party?
It's a cave raider. There's only one of them, but they're heading directly for us.
What? Will you make sure to stay off the usual path?
If they're taking the trouble to head down this way off the main route, there's no doubt they're targeting us. Let's get moving.
Thanks, guys.
Alrighty, so I guess we can give you kind of a synopsis of what the whole thing's about, as most of you know, but I'll make it brief since most of you are already there. So we're in the ocean, and there's this big crater, and except the crater goes deeper than the ocean, and it just kind of keeps going down. And so you've got a civilization that lives on the edge of the crater, and they go down into the abyss, and they get these things they call relics, which are just kind of mysterious little items, and they sell those, and that's kind of why why this community exists. Problem is, when you go in the abyss, the deeper you go, the harder it is to get back up. Not just because of distance, but because it's kind of a
The curse of the abyss.
yeah, like the bends if you went underwater almost. And so deeper you go, the harder it is to come back, and so you have different levels of people. They call them whistles, and so there's white whistles and red whistles and blue whistles, and they're allowed to go deeper or less deep, shallower.
Depending on their rank.
Mm-hmm. And so we follow Riko here, who learns that her mom went down there and hasn't returned, and so she's been living in an orphanage. And when she finds that out, she's going to go on a quest down to find her, and and all the perils and trials and tribulations along the way.
And like episode 1, Riko almost gets killed by a monster that belongs deeper in the abyss, but she's saved by a little robot boy, and he becomes her like companion in this quest, and he doesn't know where he came from, and she's like, "You must be from the very bottom of the abyss," and he's got robo arms and can blast fire from his arm that she names the incinerator, and they're super adorable.
And so
Best buds.
that's our main story, is following these two down into the abyss.
Yeah.
And but it's obviously it's very adorable. Everyone looks really sweet. It does have a dark side, as I'm sure most of you know. That I'm still contemplating whether or not to show it to my 11-year-old daughter. The 14-year-old boy will be all right.
I am highly considering buying a DVD to give to my like 75-year-old grandma and just be like, here you go.
Is she gonna be able to handle it?
I feel like it's a better choice than some of the other shows I'm in. Like, I feel like if I gave her Darling in the Franxx, she'd be like, I don't understand anything about this. But at least like Made in Abyss is like a story that I think is easier to follow and like not as, where the hell is Japan and what are they thinking?
Yeah, my kids made it through a Kame got killed, so
Yeah.
they can make it.
I think they can do it.
So let's see, what are some of the fun parts of making this? Obviously a lot of our characters are young, so casting was a thing to find people who could sound genuine and childlike, rather, we didn't want it to be cartoony kids. A little bit, you have a kind of almost Disney thing going.
Well, I have baby sound.
Your nose, you got the stuffy nose.
Yeah.
And I think that worked out perfectly once we heard Brittany here. It's like going, oh, there it is. There's that little kid.
And she's like got her glasses, and she's kind of nerdy.
Yeah,
so.
she's technical and yet still just a baby.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then Lucy Christian, as a little boy, she's first time I got to work with her in that capacity was Papua, which about 13 people saw. But you should see it anyway. It's hilarious. But yeah, that works. And then we've got Brittany Karbowski will be in there as Nanachi, and then Monica Rial makes a little appearance. And
Mitty.
Mm-hmm.
Who's voicing Ozen?
Ozen.
Oh my God, she sounds so good. I wish you could all hear her.
Christine Otten pulled her back in from. She lives on an RV, and so tracking her down is pretty difficult. And whenever I can get her around, I nab her. And so Christine Otten will be Ozen. She was Esdeath in Akame ga Kill. For reference.
She sounds so creepy good.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so good.
And who voices Best Dad Bondrewd?
Bondrewd is a guy who's relatively new, David Harbold. He's actually Mr. Tonagawa. It's kind of his first big role. And I'm trying to think of John Swayze's in there.
Oh, Terry Doty plays Shiggy.
Oh yeah, the little group of friends.
I love the name Shiggy.
Shiggy is a great name. And Shannon Emmerich is also one of the kids. And Kaylin Coates is the little bitty one.
Does Maruk have a voice yet?
Maruk is Kelly Peters, which she just sounds like a young asexual being.
Maruk's a drag.
Yeah.
So the getting people into this, one fun thing was when it starts getting down to the nitty gritty. Brittany had seen it, so she was prepared. Lucy was not prepared.
Oh no.
For episode 10 was the one where everyone says, all right.
And she recorded
get ready."
after me.
Yeah, so the trauma was already recorded, and but yeah, we would sit there and in that particular scene, anyone involved had to sit there and watch it first. And
You were saying that they're mixing it now, and the engineer Ricardo is like, I'm fine.
yeah,
I'm fine.
pardon me. Yeah, Ricardo would have to take a lot of breaks. No pun intended.
When we got to that scene, and I don't want to spoil things, I won't say what happened, but it was an intense scene, and we get to it, and the way that Sentai records is a little different than how Funimation does, and so we follow the Japanese at Sentai. And so I was like, okay, we're gonna try and do this, like, and Ricardo's like, let's just get it done in like one take. He didn't want to sit through this scene. And so I'm like, yeah, okay, I can do this. I have asthma, so.
Use it.
So I was like, my inhaler's in there, so, hopefully we'll do this fine, we'll be okay.
Yeah, when she's talking about the recording method, instead of one line or one noise at a time, watch and then do it, is we'll just play the scene and you just kind of chase them as close as you can. You've got the script, you've got the video. Use your instincts, just go with it. Mm-hmm. Especially in a scene like fight scenes and scenes like that where there's it's just a lot of noise, grunts and screaming, wailing.
Yeah, for that scene in particular, I've said to several of my acting friends coming back from recording that I felt like that was the most grotesque I've ever sounded, and I don't think I'd ever be able to replicate it if I did it like line by line method.
Yeah.
Like, I think that living in that moment and being there in the booth, like real time, made that scene how it came out, and I'm really excited to see it. I remember really liking what I put out there, and like I felt like it was a very particular place that I got to that I don't think I have gotten to again.
It's very effective, and everyone who's come across it, it kind of had this strange bonding experience throughout the office. Anyone who had to watch the show would kind of, they're watching it and they go, I thought this was supposed to be some cute little sweet, adorable show. What have you done to me?
Yeah.
And it's always at the same time when they
Yeah.
come walking in after Ep 10, going, I don't know if I'm going to watch any more of this.
Yeah.
But you have to.
Are you guys okay with elevators after that?
The elevators, yeah. I don't particularly enjoy elevators anyway. I got stuck in one yesterday.
Really?
Yeah. But I'm still okay.
You're alright.
Yeah. I
Ever
didn't go too
since I
far
was
down.
a kid and I saw like the Tower of Terror episode of like Twilight Zone, and then like going on the ride as a kid when I probably should not have, I've always been like wary of elevators.
It was in Houston one year. It was at a hospital. Some lady got decapitated.
Oh my God.
So I don't like elevators.
Ugh.
Ever since that story.
Yeah.
We'll make sure all of you is in there in or out.
Yeah.
That's the key.
Yeah.
Andrew Love's here.
Ayo.
Hey, Andrew Love.
Hello. But yeah, going back to that grotesque recording, that was intense, and I'm glad I watched the entire show before going in, and I didn't watch it before being cast, but when I was cast, I marathoned all of it, and I was like, oh my God, so good. I have a funny story about doing my callback for that audition, though. So the first audition for it I got when I was running Legend of the Galactic Heroes audition. So like my mind was all Space Boys, Space Boys, Space Boys, and then I got the audition for Made in Abyss, and I was like, never mind, nothing else matters. And I recorded the audition, and then I was going to LA for a few days, and I was like, all right, well, here's my audition, I'm gonna be out of town for a few days. And then I'm in LA, I'm staying with another actor, Chris Niosi, staying at his place, and I get an email, and it was just like, it was from Paul, who does like scheduling and stuff at Sentai, and he just sends me like a video clip of episode 10, and he's like, hey, for a callback, can you just record this thing? And I'd already told him I was gonna be out of town if they needed more stuff. And there was no script, it was just like the clip of that episode. And it was it was these just intense reaction noises, like crying and screaming and trying not to cry and all these things. And I'm at a friend's, and I'm like, I have this callback. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. And so I go to Kira Buckland's house and I record it in her living room. And there's like all these people around, and I'm like, hold on guys, I'm just gonna cry and scream and make gross sounds and just sent that in.
Never invited back.
Yeah. I was like, don't worry guys, I booked it.
The part of the, I think the challenge of that show and what makes those dark parts so effective is making sure the cute and adorable and the silly is extra cute and adorable and silly, so that you have this pendulum swinging back and forth to take everybody on that ride. Mm-hmm. And the original creators certainly were good about that. I mean, I remember watching it the first time and going, wow, this is really something special. And you know, whenever I watch shows and I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do, and got casting and stuff going through my head, and so it's a lot of, I'm watching it with like 3 brains going. Well, this is one of those shows where I just stopped being a director and just got to just sit there and watch it because I loved it so much. And each episode was like, I hit the next one. So I the same thing. I just binge watched the whole thing. Usually I'll watch an episode, go through the cast. Okay, these guys could do that. Okay, now let's do episode 2. That wasn't the case in this one. I just kept on plugging and plowing through it.
Get to the last episode and it's like, oh my god, this is an hour long.
Yeah, and the last episode's extra long. And then once you see the map, you realize there's more map. There's more to go.
Yeah.
Somewhere. So somebody call Japan. Tell them to hurry up. I want to see more of it.
Yeah.
Like 41 days now by new chapter.
Yeah, I've seen spoilers about what happens. Kyle hasn't. So
I have not. No,
so
I try and separate myself from it. Otherwise, I'll think about it too much.
But hopefully we get they did announce a season 2, so hopefully we get one sooner than later.
Was it announced as a new season though? I thought it was just announced that there would be a sequel.
I think that they've been intentionally vague about it, but there's 2 movies coming out in December that are compilation movies. So I think that if there's going to be news, you probably hear about it around then. Actually, I think the movies are in January now. But regardless, yeah, there'll probably be news after that.
Yeah, I'm hoping we come out as a new season. Except I feel like if the Bond Read arc comes out as a movie, then we're going to be the end of the adaptation. Which would be depressing.
So one of my favorite parts about this was just how creative the visuals are. All the little creatures and monsters, and how each just kind of area is its own unique environment, and they came up with so much cool stuff.
I love the fluffy little things, and I think it's the 4th layer, the layer that it was the what was that? I can't.
The little fluffy things.
The fluffy. It was in the episode that like Riko is mostly featured in, and they all are attracted to like sweet smells. Mm-hmm. They were really fluffy.
Oh yeah, running through the tunnels.
Yeah.
And right.
Yeah, those things were adorable.
Those things are great. The little mushroom covered snorting pig things.
Oh yeah.
Their little symbiotic relationship, and I do like the shopping list.
That Nanachi.
Get sent on a shopping list and only really needed one thing.
Yeah.
Off of it. That was good. But and Brittany Karbowski does she does a Karbowski good job on Nanachi. I think everybody will appreciate that for sure.
Wasn't the Japanese actress for that the same one as Miggy in Parasite?
I believe so, and there's certainly similarities going on.
Yeah.
Did everybody see Parasite, or anybody?
Yeah.
Andrew Love saw Parasite. Andrew Love's here, ladies and gentlemen.
Do you want to let them ask questions?
Sure, I'm up for questions.
Yeah, if you guys want to line up, you can ask questions. There's a microphone there. Otherwise, we'll just talk. All right, well, so if no one has questions.
So how was y'all's day?
What was that?
How was y'all's day?
It's just started.
Yeah, day's just
good so far.
Did y'all just wake up?
No. I
It
didn't
was
just
my
wake up.
first event.
Yeah, first thing
Yeah.
today.
I have an aside about recording. How day one you just started saying "Robot Boy."
No. Oh yeah. I'll work on that.
I didn't know what this was at first, and he's like, "Oh no, you have to see this video." And he started playing this video for me. And I thought it was just like a random video that he found online. Turns out you know whoever it is.
It was a college project.
Yeah, but it's just a clip of someone doing that, and we just kept like every time, because Riko says "reg" a lot. Every time Riko said "reg" or "robot boy,"
I was gonna say I have a hotspot if you want to use it.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, here.
we would just refer back to this video. Do you want to unplug it so people don't have to see what you're searching on your laptop? It's for your safety, Kyle.
I want to see the wallpaper again.
Also, history is important to everybody.
But yeah, so we just kept on referring back to this clip, and I think you guys all need to see,
So,
to enjoy.
what was your favorite moment to watch and your favorite moment to record? And of course, what broke your illusion that this was going to be a nice and fluffy series?
Well, I knew from like before I even started it that it wasn't a nice and fluffy series, because some of my close friends are big fans of it, so they had kind of ruined that for me. It's alright. My favorite part to watch, I really liked Nanachi's whole backstory. My favorite part to record, I liked episode 10 stuff. That was intense and cool from an actor's point of view. I also liked the entire scene with like Ozen and Reg and Riko.
Episode 7?
Yeah, I think it was that. That was fun. And yeah, I mean, I just enjoyed recording the entire thing. It was a good experience.
Seems like it'd be difficult to voice Riko. She's experiencing the strains of the ascent from the 4th layer. I guess I should give everyone a heads up. This is going to be a little bit of a spoiler. After Riko gets stabbed by the orb piercer, Reg ends up pulling her off because that was the only option to avoid Riko's death.
Right. So that's what. Whenever we talked about like the episode 10 scenes, like that's what.
I mean, like, how do you, like, that seems like they demand a really precise voice to do that, because she's crying, you know, she's expelling blood, and she's trying to talk as she's asking Reg to break her off.
So that was like my callback scene that I talked about, and so it was an intense thing to record. But like I was saying, like it was probably one of the most grotesque things I've ever recorded. But I also am really proud of how it came out. I mean, I haven't gotten to actually see it come out, but I was proud of what I did, and so I'm excited to see how it came out. It was hard, but luckily I came into it knowing what it was gonna be. So when we got there, I like knew, okay, like she's in this place, I need to place myself here, and like I need to have strain, but there's this and that. So there's a lot of actory things going on.
There's more multiple takes to do that.
I think we got it in one take.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then we came in and dusted off a few
Right, we
places.
did a straight take and then went back and did some tweaking.
Yeah.
Almost there.
I see it. We're almost there.
It's coming.
You got another question?
1 second. Let's see if we can play our
I don't think
inspiration. You know.
So, in all disclosure, this was filmed back in college, so it's pretty old. I'm not in it, mercifully. But these are some friends, and it's called Robot Boy. And basically a guy is super lazy, so he builds a robot to do all the scrap for him. And the robot has discovered that the girl he's dating is a psychopath. And so that confrontation is in full swing here. And Robot Boy is trying to protect our main guy. And, well, things go wrong.
And so this is what he kept quoting, and then finally we would play it every single time Robot Boy came up. Because Riko is like, oh, he's Robot Boy, or be like, Reg! Robot Reg!
Oh God. Oh, good there. Okay, all
Time out. Y'all aren't hearing it out of these, are you?
No. Always a beautiful sound.
Everyone needs to hear this in its full glory.
There we go.
Okay.
Anyway, robot.
So we just kept quoting that. That was great.
I kept that little scene ready to go. Anytime something robot boyish happened,
Yeah.
I could just play it.
Yeah, it's good inspiration.
He had a question.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
So, had you seen the full show before you started recording, or did you kind of go in?
I watched it all,
Okay.
but Lucy was not as fortunate to have exposed herself to it.
Yeah.
Did you tell her that it was gonna get?
I said there's going to be some stuff. Just be ready for some stuff.
Alright.
And Karbowski was the same way. And I told her to go at least where she joins the show, joins in. So I think she went and watched it
Yeah.
beforehand. She came in going, oh God, what is this? And especially because she kind of skipped to her
Yeah,
section, so she didn't know where anything was coming from. Until I get to give her a little bit of a heads up, but it's always fun to watch people's faces in the booth when they're seeing
If
things
you have
for the first
questions,
time.
come line up at this microphone.
Yeah,
It's like the second I say that, and it's like, no, I'm not.
Come on up so everyone can hear the
Yeah.
question.
Did you delve into the manga?
I have not read the manga, but I have seen stuff from it because close friends of mine are big fans of the manga, so I know about a bunch of spoilery things. So.
The anime's been going so slow coming out. I'm kind of hoping that it doesn't go in like a Full Metal Alchemist where they split the story up and then they come back to it later. I'm actually hoping that they just do right off the bat.
Yeah, I think nowadays with how anime tends to be produced, they'll do like 12 to 13 episodes and they'll wait a long time, and then once there's enough source material and enough funding, then they'll bring it and do more. Kind of how we get like every year we get a new season of My Hero Academia. It doesn't run straight through. Or Food Wars, same thing. It doesn't run straight through. You get chunks of it, and then like, okay, it'll come back next year. So I imagine that it's going to be similar for the show. Like once it comes back, it'll pick up from where the manga left off until like it finishes its arc, and then it'll probably only adapt like that one part, and then there'll be a break until there's more material, and they do it that way. And I imagine that's to try and avoid having to kind of create your own ending. Plus, then you can string people along or get people to buy the manga, stuff like that. Marketing.
So I was wondering, so y'all, you watching the show and even, voicing it and whatnot, how, after watching the show, how has your imagination has it expanded, or do you see a new world, like a different world or something like that, as opposed to all the other different shows that you've seen? Has your imagination expanded, I guess?
I mean, I feel like I always have a bit of an imagination, or part of it is probably just a bunch of anxiety and paranoia. But, I can't say that I feel like it has expanded my imagination, but I've been watching anime since I was a kid, so,
okay, so that's already there.
I used to have Full Metal Alchemist OCs I would role play with when I was 12 years old, so imagination's been good.
And then in regards to the clip, I don't know if you got this vibe. I got a Three Stooges vibe from the Robot Boy. So,
there's definitely some Three Stooges going in there. And to address what you were asking earlier, the creativity of just anime in general, and I like sci-fi, and I like your just when movies get creative and go someplace that I haven't thought of before. That's why I think a lot of us watch it, is to see something new, and this show certainly hits that. of taking you to another world and making you, affecting you. And when a show really gets you, that's what makes it great, when there's an experience.
Awesome, thank you.
Hello.
Hi, I'm just really excited to hear Bondru's performance in general. So, like, how is his voice compared to the sub? I've never heard his voice actor before.
Well, David Harbold is he's new to anime, and he is very excited, and he keeps it nice and creepy, and but he has kind of a refinement to him, because Bondru has this strange, he has an authority, but he's also maybe not all there. We don't get to see his face, so there's mysterious, and so he really tried to tap into that part, just make him a little off. Like going, who is, what's this guy about? And you even get kind of a strange, maybe he's got a good side in there somewhere, or bad side, why is he doing this? Why is he going to the lengths he's going? And so David really, that's where he focused, was kind of keep it a mystery as to who he is.
What are your favorite episodes?
Oh, favorite episodes? Well, there's a love and hate of Ep 10. That it's one reason I love it is because of that. Like I said before, there's a visceral experience. You watch it and you finish that episode breathing hard and worn out and got to take a break. And so I love it for that reason. And of course, hate it for that reason too.
I love episode 10. And I also really love episode 13 with all of the stuff about Nanachi.
Yeah, it covers a lot of ground.
Yeah.
Before I go, I need to say, I used the Abyss in a D&D campaign once. Anyway.
That's pretty cool.
Two-part question. One, what is each of your favorite thing that you've been in? And then the age-old question, what's your favorite show of all time? That's a question, like an answerable question.
My favorite anime of all time is Hunter x Hunter. And my favorite thing I've been in, I really love Made in Abyss, and I also really love Darling in the Franxx. So it's pretty hard to pick one or the other. My favorite thing I directed is probably Legend of Galactic Heroes, because Space Boys.
Like the remake or the?
I directed the remake, the Noitessa. Yeah.
My go-to of favorite thing I've worked on is the original Kino's Journey. That's when it kind of has a similar feel to this, where it's a thoughtful kind of that takes its time, it's slow, and it draws you in rather than just banging you over the head with stuff. And so I really appreciated that. And then I guess favorite of all time, the one that brought me to anime was Star Blazers, the battleship Yamato. I'm old.
Is there going to be season 2 for the Legend of Galactic Heroes?
So Legend of Galactic Heroes has one season of 12 episodes, and then they have confirmed 3 movies that are supposed to be about 4 episodes length of coverage each, which is, did you watch the Noitessa?
Yes.
So it leaves off of where they finish the Battle of Amritsar, and so the first movie is supposed to adapt the rest of that novel, from what I understand, and I think we'll get some of, if not all of, novel 2 with the rest of it. This is just stuff I've been able to read and online about the Japanese. I have no idea if Funimation will get it or if we'll continue to dub it, so if you want to see it dubbed, make sure you tweet to them or email them or post on their Facebook or whatever and be like, please bring it over, because if there's not a lot of desire for it, I don't know if they'll continue to pursue it, because Galactic Heroes is a freaking massive series, and I really hope that they do it, and you can watch all of the original on High Dive, which is where I watch it. Like,
have you seen that
all
box
the
set?
time. I have, and I was just saying to Jay at Sentai's booth, I was like, do you guys have that here? Am I gonna max out my credit card? Am I gonna buy like 5 of them? I have the shirts that they make. Sentai makes 2 different Galactic Hero shirts. I have those. But yeah, there's gonna be movies sometime next year. Don't know if we'll get them at Funimation. Let them know you want to see them. I would love to work on them. I've watched the original series and reading the books. My book is like full of post-it notes and highlighting and notes all over it. I'm really intense about working on that show. Thank you.
Hello.
What's up?
Mario.
I wanted regarding to Made in Abyss. At some point in the anime, they had explained most of the white whistles from the Abyss. What are your thoughts about the other ones that have not been introduced, such as Sajo, Lord of Mystery, and Wakuna, Lord of Guidance? How do you feel? What are your thoughts about those characters?
Well, me, since I haven't gone forward with it, is I can't wait to meet them.
Yeah, I don't know anything about them yet. I generally get excited when people like when you get brief tidbits about a character but you don't meet them yet, like Hunter x Hunter in the OG series, 1999 series, and in the manga, like you meet Kite in the very beginning, and then we don't meet Kite again until like 100 episodes later. And so when you get that little tidbit and you finally see them, it's like, oh my god, this is that character that they talked about. Like, who are they now? Like, how has time changed them? What is their deal? Why are they here? What are they going to do for our main characters? So I'm looking forward to, because I doubt they were just sprinkled in there for lore. Like, everything in Made in Abyss seems very calculated. So I'm looking forward to seeing what these characters bring to the story.
Right. Yeah. I also feel the same thing about it. Like, can't wait.
Right.
Yeah.
As creative as these guys have been in the past, leading up on this story, I can't wait to see what what else they're gonna bring. It's exciting. I love
Especially because when we think about the white whistles that we have met, like Ozen and Bondrewd are kind of unsettling, but then they're also not exactly who you think they are either. So I'm interested in seeing like how the other white whistles, line up with them.
Right.
But from what I understand, the mangaka's a little slow putting out chapters, so I don't know if those characters have been introduced yet.
And that's why I like it when they take their time.
Yeah, exactly. It's nice.
They rush it out. And
sometimes he apparently live streams himself working on it, which is pretty cool. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I didn't know that actually. I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Join the Discord channel. They always post announcements for the live streams.
The Discord channel announces live streams. Sorry.
For the mangaka.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. Trying to help.
Okay, cool. Thank you very much. I'm also been DMing in Made in Abyss, Dungeons and Dragons game.
Really cool.
It's already we're extending for a year now.
Awesome.
We are extending for a year. I don't
Yeah.
DM.
Yeah, you should share what you did with that, because I'm sure other people would jump on that. I would do a D&D. I've never played D&D, but I would D&D in a Made in Abyss world. Yeah.
But yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you. Hello.
Hi there.
I do want to say, can you let me know if you're coming back next year so I can cosplay as Robot Boy?
I mean, I would love to, but that's up to the guest relations.
Need to be invited.
I
Sure.
just want to fall on the floor and somebody yell, Robot
Boy!
Laundry next year, so.
All right.
Thank you.
Hey, Andrew Love's here.
Hey, what up?
So, as a director, stepping into the acting, kind of shifting to that, does that help? Is it harder sometimes because you have your own instincts?
Sometimes.
I know Kyle, and I know he's very easy to work with, but as a director, when you're in charge of more stuff, you tend to want to take more responsibility for things you might not have.
Yeah, sometimes it's hard to let go of like the things that you pay a lot of attention to. So like sometimes for me, like I get really distracted by like, oh, that's not gonna fit. Oh shit, I really did a bad job there. Oh, fuck. And then I kind of get too in my head about like, oh, this script's terrible, or oh my god, this blah 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 blah. And I think that there were several points when we were working on Made in Abyss where I'd be like, oh, the flaps are in. And you're like, it's fine.
We'll deal with it later.
Ricardo's gonna make it work.
We've got a Ricardo here.
Yeah, and I have to say, the engineers at Sentai are freaking incredible. They make magic.
Yeah, the old Ricardo in particular, super fast. It's like a blur below the shoulders. Just
He does incredible work. But I think it's easy to get in my head about like technical things that I get hung up on, and like other people aren't going to notice.
I mean, you likewise do the same thing when you'll jump in for other directors.
Yeah, jumping in the booth. The part of just production in general, which learned a while back, like doing things like Robot Boy, is when doing production, I just love being in part of it anywhere. So you're changing hats. You go, all right, today I'm holding the boom, and so I'm just going to put on the boom mic hat and just do this all day. And then one day you're writing, one day you're the lead, one day you're the tree. And so learning to kind of partition everything off and then just switch has gotten easier because I'm old. And so now getting the booth, it's almost a relief. You go, I don't have, he has to worry about all that crap. I just get to play, and get into a character.
And sometimes I say that to myself too, like I'm like, you know what, like when I AD on shows, I am assistant directing on Chio School Road and DSRA this season, and like Clifford Chapin changed a line in one episode of Chio, and I'm like, I don't know how this is gonna fit, but he changed it, so he wants it this way, so like
you gotta make it happen.
That I made it happen to the best that I could, and I was just like, this is what he wanted, like this works close enough. Might not be what I would have kept it, but like this is what he wanted, and that's it's his problem now, and I have to just let it be.
Right.
And it came out, and it was a scene where Chio keeps interrupting herself, and she's like calling her friend a bitch over and over again, and she's like, oh, you're so popular, bitch, like blah 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 blah, bitch, and so trying to make those bitches.
This is a PG-13 panel.
I'm sorry.
By the way.
So that scene ended up people loved it, and I really beat myself up over it, and I had to just kind of like
because of second guessing or
yeah, because I was like, oh, does it sound good? Does it sound fluid? Is it funny? Is it like, are the flaps okay? But like
they have to have a lot more trust in the booth of fall backwards into the director's arms and go, because they have their own vision going, and your job is to in that position is to help make that vision happen, right?
Cool, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Andrew Love, ladies and gentlemen.
What up?
So, in regards to the adaptation of the manga, the original adaptation did a really good job of closely following the manga in as tasteful of a manner as possible. Are you, Brittany, worried or in any way concerned about some of the things that you probably heard about in the upcoming, what I assume would be the upcoming season for the manga?
Not really, because I've seen some stuff and I've heard some people's, like, what they have to say about it, and I think that the first season did a really good job of kind of, like you said, making things tasteful, and there's a lot of cultural differences that go at play there too, between like Japan and here, and I have faith that they'll do the best thing and make things work. I also think that we jump to say like that's sexualization when maybe it's not. So but the thing is, like, there will be people who sexualize it, so it's really hard to say either way.
And that comes up. There are cultural things, there are interpretive things. There's a lot of just slight nuances that can really change how something is seen out there. And then everyone has their own opinion too. So it's it's Pandora's box.
And like, short aside about that, like I remember being a kid and this French family moved into town, and I lived right by the beach in New York, and there was a beach camp that we would always go to, and we were probably like all 10 years old, and these two French girls came, and they never wore tops to the beach when we went swimming. And I was just told, like, oh, it's a cultural thing. Like, as kids, like, no one's telling them to cover up, but here we're like, oh, girls gotta wear bikini tops, where it's like, really, like, is that all that much better to sexualize the 10-year-old by putting something on there or not? And so I kind of think, I remind myself of that, like, in different cultures, there's different things that we're like, that's a sexualization, no, that's a sexualization, so it's my short aside about that.
Thank you.
Thank you. What up?
Hi there.
Do you have a rough idea on what power levels for the whistles are? The ranks, like white, black, moon, blue, and so on?
We haven't really, the whistles, other than them being almost like a badge of your rank, I mean, we haven't really seen them come into play.
Yeah,
as a whistle.
I know stuff about the white whistles, but like nothing I'm gonna say on this panel.
All right.
But
appreciate
we did say that we did hear in the anime that like the white whistles can only be used by the owner. So even though Riko has Liza, she can't use it.
Yeah.
Like she can't utilize anything that has to do with it.
And black was like Hobson, has the speed and power, but at the later there, after episode 10, I don't think that kind of raw ability can be enough for some of the monsters down there.
I didn't even know that the black whistle had a speed buff, which would make sense when in that clip we're like, oh my god, Habo's so fast!
I don't know if the whistle was doing that, but yeah.
Yeah.
It's still something to think about on power levels.
Yeah.
Right, and there, and I look forward to seeing how they, incorporate what the whistles do and how it can change the story.
Yeah.
All right.
But thanks.
Thank you. Hello.
Hi. Just a little fun fact. My name is also Brittany.
Hello.
But I wanted to know, you as the the English voice actress for Riko, her story and about how she was born in the abyss and how they had to basically drag her out. Did that help you get into the character? Did that help you, did that little tidbit of knowledge kind of like steer where you wanted to go with the character?
I think that because I watched the entire show, knowing all of that before going did kind of help. Like, okay, like she's this quirky, like really inquisitive girl, and they kind of
Who gets strung up and they
yeah,
get beaten.
because as they do.
So we did that first.
Of course.
Into the character.
Yeah, method acting. But she, I feel like they keep it really vague as to whether her motivation to go down to the abyss is because of like what Ozen insists on, or if it's her own free will, or if it's like a mix of the two, or what. And I think that that's an interesting part of her character. That she has so much drive, but it's like, where is that drive actually coming from? And to try and keep it so no one can say like, oh, she's just one-sided or one-track mind because she just belongs to the bottom of the abyss, or if it's like, oh, she wants to go there to find her mom, and stuff like that. So I think it's a cool little dichotomy there.
Yeah, and they keep that as a theme.
Yeah.
In there, that drive, like that precociousness.
Yeah.
Behind her, but yeah, there's something else there that we get to slowly peel back the layers and find it.
Thank you.
Thank
Sure.
you.
Hello.
I'm 13 and I want to suggest, like, I don't know how to say it, but like what anime do you think I'm like that will
So have you seen this one? No. No? Okay. I don't know if it's good or bad, but you're right on the edge of where that should be. Let's see. Log Horizon. You can always do Log Horizon. That's super fun. It's guys who get caught in a game world, like a RPG sort of game. Haikyuu is
delicious boy volleyball, heartwarming fun.
Where to go? My Love Story, which Andrew left.
Shame.
Umaru. Have you seen some Umaru-chan? Oh, it's good. She's a little lazy brat that
Plays video games.
Plays video games and eats potato chips and drinks a lot of cola.
Sounds like my life. So.
But that's where I would start.
I see you're dressed as Fairy Tale. Have you watched Black Clover?
I've been watching it.
My Hero Academia?
I was gonna start to watch it.
Yeah, definitely check out those two, because if you like Fairy Tale and the kind of friend theme of that, plus the shonen action, those would be good things to check out. One of my favorite animes that's subtitled was in that genre is Tekyo Hitman Reborn. So if you like subtitled anime, that's another like friendship plus shonen plus really long running. And Hunter x Hunter is one of my favorites. That's a little dark as it goes on, but that's a really good one. Yeah, those are my suggestions of things that if you like fairy tale, you might like. And there's going to be more fairy tale in a few weeks, I think, starting in October. So yeah, look forward to that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Looks like we got just under 10 minutes left.
Should we do a trivia contest?
Oh yeah, we have giveaways.
All right. All right.
You got a question?
I guess we can ask some questions about Made in Abyss or questions about us, and that would both be valid. How's that work?
Sure.
All right, I have a good one, a good Made in Abyss trivia question. Who is the composer for Made in Abyss? You had your hand up first.
Kevin Beacon.
Yep. All right. You want a set of posters or buttons? Or?
There you go.
Cool. All right, that was a quick one. You got any?
How's about, does anyone know, I don't even know the answer to this, Brittany's directorial debut in anime? Oh, tumbleweeds.
Give me a minute to Google that.
No. All right, what is the last thing I directed then?
Galactic.
I said it on this panel. Yeah. That is the last thing I directed in full, but it's not the latest thing I directed. I said on this panel. I did. I said, yeah. Yeah.
There you go.
Cool. Well, if no one knew my directorial debut, what about your directorial debut?
Yeah.
Did you say it? I think you said.
No, it was not.
No?
No.
All right.
And the first thing I did was not anime.
Okay.
So you can either go anime or not anime. How about, shoot, I'll go genre. What's the first genre I directed? Still dubbing.
Sci-fi?
Not sci-fi, no.
It was Robot Boy.
I did not direct Robot Boy either. Okay. It was not an adventure. Think more broad. It was live action.
Horror?
That's close, yeah.
Full Life?
What's that?
Full Life?
No. We're getting close. There's actually a big similar movie coming out soon.
The Mummy.
Not shonen, no.
Does it have anything to do with your panel tonight?
Yeah, you can see tonight at 10 o'clock. Not mystery. You can check your guidebook. Not drama.
Thriller.
It was not. I did not direct Thriller. So if you look at your guidebook, 10 o'clock tonight. Kaiju. There we go. I did a Gamera movie. You're getting the poster for that one. 4 of them actually.
Got any other good trivia?
Let's see.
I could ask bias trivia, like who's best girl in Darling in the Franxx? For someone to say Nancy.
Amin is the only top runner for that.
Let's see.
I'm looking for Inspirato.
Does anyone know what my first role was? I said it in a panel last night. So.
Crickets.
No? All right. We can think of a different question. Let's see.
Does anyone know any role I've ever played?
I don't get enough.
I don't do a whole lot, I'm usually.
I know of a dude you played in Food Wars, but I forget his name. But I remember being like, oh, hey, that's Kyle.
I'm generally a budget saver and like boy with bucket. Things like that. A guy who dives under the train. I think I've died in more anime than most.
Yeah, that's your thing.
Mhm.
One season, my husband was in 3 shows where he was decapitated.
Ooh, that's nice. Mark Laskowski, I don't know if you guys know him. He had because you'll get in a little rut. I don't know if it's a rut, but where you're getting typecast. You go, oh, I'm going to be this thing for a while, and he was always getting hit in the balls. If someone
All right.
got racked, they'd go, oh, Laskowski, call him in. He made the right noise.
He's good at it.
Yeah, I was birds for a long time.
Birds. Oh, I have a good trivia question. What show on High Dive is Kyle currently directing?
It's ongoing right now, yeah. Not Made in Abyss, that'll be coming out soon.
Food Wars?
No.
That's on there, but but it's a weekly show,
Yeah,
one
this-
that's coming out.
I brought it up during this panel, and it has Bone Druid's actor in it.
Mhm. Not Monster Musume, that one's on there too, though. Mr. Tonagawa,
Nice.
Middle Management Blues. Very nice.
Very good.
And I like your shirt, by the way.
Me good.
We got 3 more.
3 more prizes. All right, we gotta think of.
Let's.
Is there any good? I have an easy one. You guys want an easy one? What is Nana Cheese catchphrase? Someone who hasn't gotten one.
First hand back, it was the black hair.
Oh, but he already got a prize.
Oh, sorry.
The beard and glasses.
Nah.
Yeah. Yeah. You need to come into this microphone and do your best impression of it, though, before you get that prize.
That's not a question.
Yeah.
Nah. So one of them is a plug for you, and I also need to ask if, could I get autographs? I know you do them about 3 or 3:30 today. And I was wondering if I could get an autograph from you as well.
For sure.
All right, thank you. And I was also going to ask, did either of you know about Made in Abyss before taking on as a project?
Yes, I knew about it.
I never know any of it. I stay in my little hole, and then they open the door and they throw the piece of meat in and slam the door.
Yeah, I knew about it because it won Crunchyroll's Anime of the Year award at the otherwise known as My Hero Academia Awards. So I was like, oh, whoa. My Hero Academia won everything else except Made in Abyss won Best Anime of the Year. Woo! What was that?
And the soundtrack.
The soundtracker is really
Soundtrack
amazing.
is awesome.
I think they made a vinyl of it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right, do we have any more?
2 more.
I have another Made in Abyss one.
Hey,
Do you?
you're doing better at this than I am.
What is the name of the monster that venomous stabs Riko? Blue shirt with the little things in your hair. Yeah, you.
Thinking brain freeze.
I just like brain freeze. I know it's like orb piercer.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Well done.
Well done. All right.
And okay. Yeah. Oh, okay. Thought we had a.
Yeah. Do you have any other questions you can come up with?
What time is Lake Texarkana Gamma playing tonight? In this very room. 10 o'clock. Good job. Way to go. All right.
Hey.
Sorry.
Great
I
poster
stole it.
prize for that. No, you good?
Well, if you want
Yeah.
to hear a bunch of rednecks chasing down a big turtle, come back here at 10 o'clock.
Thanks, guys, for coming. I hope you all check out Made in Abyss.
Yeah,
It
it'll-
comes out in October.
Yeah.
You can pre-order the premium box sets on Sentai's website, where you can also find posters and T-shirts and more.
You'll be able to watch it on High Dive.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks
See you
for
guys
coming.
around.
Kyle and I have autographs at 3:30 today, so please come back and bring maybe this stuff for us to sign. That'd be rad.
3:30, yeah.
3:30.
At the Hemisphere Ballroom.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye. Bye. What if we